Hi, today we're going to talk about Design Studio. We're going to show you how to enable it and how to use it. To enable it, we're going to go into our HCM environment, and in the upper right-hand corner, we're going to click down and click Edit Pages. We have to make a sandbox. I'm going to go ahead and click Activate a Sandbox. Please remember there are many ways that you can activate a sandbox, and this is just one of them. I have a sandbox that's already made, and it has my HCM Design Studio tool already added to it. If you need to learn how to create and activate a sandbox, please visit our other video. This sandbox is already created, and if I hover over the tools, it tells me what the tool is. And you'll notice HCM Experience Design Studio is already enabled in this sandbox. So I'm going to click this arrow to enter the sandbox. Entering a sandbox usually does take quite a few seconds to load, especially if you're creating it from scratch. I can tell I'm in the sandbox because I have this yellow banner across the top of my page with the sandbox name in the upper left corner. If I click my Tools drop-down menu, I'm going to click on HCM Experience Design Studio. Please take note that this environment is on 21C, so it has any new releases in the 21C release. Oracle releases new functionality in HCM Design Studio with every release. Once I click HCM Experience Design Studio, it's taking me over to a new section. I'm going to click on Transaction Design Studio because this is where my Design Studio lives. Underneath the Actions dropdown, there are many different options and many different pages that I can update. If I scroll down, they are listed alphabetically, and you can look at all the different options that we have. For this example, I'm going to click on Create Job. Once you select an action, now we can make some rules. If I click on Add, it allows me to add a rule on who will see this. I have to type a name, and I have to type a description. I also have the ability to look at roles that might exist in my instance and select specific roles that this is applicable to. If I leave it blank, it's applicable to everyone. If I move down, this is where I can show or hide regions. Now, every single setting could be different depending on what pages you are making changes to. So because I see show or hide regions here, if I go back out and I go to a different section of the instance, I might not see that. So this is showing by default that I'm showing the questionnaire page. It says yes. Things that might be grayed out, I cannot change. They are required and they are visible. However, things that I can change would be the additional information or the legislative info or the associated profiles blocks. I can mark them as either visible or not visible. I can also mark them as required or not required. If I scroll down, I have a page attributes section. There is a drop-down usually at the top of the page attributes section because there's different pages that you can click on. Let's look at the first one, comments and attachments. There's an attachment section and there's a comment section. The attachments and comment sections are both visible. And you'll notice the attachments section, there is no required or not required. It's literally only visible or not visible. However, the comment section, you can mark as required or not required and visible or not visible. I can click my dropdown and I can click on the additional info section. In the additional info section, if I click on my edit icon, it gives me additional information such as the extra information page, which is maybe where my DFFs would be, or my region, anything that's specific by region, and whether or not it's visible or not visible. Again, I'm going to go to my dropdown and I'm going to click Associated Profiles. No items to display there. So basically, you want to go through each section dropdown to see if there's any functionality or any page attributes that you want to enable or disable, show or not show, also whether or not they're required or not required. It's easiest to make the change using HCM Design Studio rather than using Page Composer and editing the base code of the pages. Once you go through all of your page attributes and you are ready to save, scroll up to the top and click Save and Close. What this does is it creates a rule that is specific to actually go back to my Transaction Design Studio to my Create Job action. You'll see that it says Create Job. Now, if maybe I wanted to have the fields be different or visible to some people in a certain role, but not visible to others, like let's say maybe I want them visible to a recruiter, but not visible to a hiring manager, I can make a rule that makes them visible to a recruiter based on the role, the security role, and then I would make another rule with the fields that are visible and not visible, or required and not required, based on my hiring manager role. I can click on Action and I can select another option. If we scroll down, you'll see that these are listed alphabetically. However, a lot of the recruiting ones now display together. If I want to edit this rule, I can click on it and I can edit any of the changes that I made and click Save and Close. You'll notice I have the check mark here, which means it's active. And you'll also notice I have 3 little dots over to the right. And if I click on those dots, I can duplicate the role and I can also delete the role. I'm going to click Delete, and now that rule is deleted. Once I'm done, I can click Done. I have the ability to, because I'm still in my sandbox, preview as if the context was published, or if I'm happy with my changes, I can go to Create Sandbox and I can go to Publish. That'll take me to the Publish page where I can publish the sandbox. Once the sandbox is published, I cannot unpublish it. However, if I do need to make additional HCM Design Studio changes, I can simply create a new sandbox with the tool HCM Experience Design Studio and make additional changes.